My drummer girlfriend said not to buy gear. I did anyway, and we returned it together. My girlfriend plays drums in an indie rock band and knows her gear. She loves Zildjian and talks about how each piece changes the whole sound. One night she said she needed a ride cymbal, but good ones cost a lot. I don't know drums, but I wanted to surprise her for our first Christmas. I searched reviews, watched short clips, and read that the A series is a classic. I found a used Zildjian A 22-inch medium ride at Guitar Center for a bit over $250. I didn't tell her I bought it, but I asked how you pick the right ride. She said you have to hear it with your kit, and random parts make a Frankenstein set. My stomach dipped, but the box was already on the way, so I kept quiet. I wrapped the big round case and slid it behind my couch like it was a secret. I dropped a hint and said the place had a great return policy, just in case. She laughed and said maybe I got her a giant gift card, and I tried to act normal. When she opened it, she froze with her mouth open, then hugged me so tight. She said her ride stand looked lonely across the room and asked what she did to deserve it. We were at my place, so she couldn't try it with the kit yet, but she wanted to. Her bandmates texted in all caps and tried to drag her to the studio that night. The next day, she set it on the stand and checked the felt washers and the wing nut. She hit the bow, then the bell, then the edge, listening hard after each hit. The ping was nice, but the wash felt heavy, like it pushed too far into the room. She tried nylon tips, then wood tips, then a lighter pair she keeps for small rooms. She played soft, then loud, then a steady groove at 120 on the metronome. She opened the hats a little and changed angles, looking for the right blend. She retuned her toms and cracked a joke about redesigning the whole kit around it. She kept at it every day, thinking maybe it was her touch or her technique. I could see it in her face that something still sat wrong, even when she smiled. One night she sat on the throne and said it just wasn't working with her crashes. She wasn't asking to return it. She just needed to say it out loud and breathe. I pulled the receipt from the drawer and said we still had days left in the window. We slid the cymbal into its sleeve, taped the box, and drove to the store. The parking lot was cold, the lights were bright, and my chest felt tight. I felt like I had failed the test, but I kept my voice even and stayed close. At the counter they scanned the return. The register beeped, and I finally exhaled. We asked to try rides, and a clerk rolled out a stand and a padded stool. She started with a few A rides, checking the bow, the bell, and the decay. She would play 2 bars, tilt her head, and say, too washy here, too dry there. I asked what made the right sound, and she said clear stick with a controlled wash. She played a groove, then ghost notes, then bell accents, building up to crash the edge. A K custom ride came out next, and I guessed it would match her K crashes. She shook her head and said the bell was harsh, and the bow felt stiff today. She told me brand match wasn't everything, and the room changes what you hear. We kept moving down the line, thin to heavy, fast decay to long, still not it. The room got louder as other drummers tested kits, but she stayed locked in. She showed me where the bow should breathe and where the bell should cut through. I started to hear it too, tiny changes that made the groove sit or fall apart. Then she pointed at an I-Series 20-inch ride and said she wanted to try it. She played a simple beat, and the ping was clear while the wash tucked under. She moved to the bell, hit the edge, went soft, medium, loud, and then she smiled. I asked if this was the one, and she tapped once more and said yeah, this is it. It wasn't the priciest in the room, but it fit her hands, her songs, and her band. We told the clerk, he pulled the tag, and the printer spat out a fresh receipt. He boxed it up, the tape squeaked, and he slid the case across the counter. I paid. She squeezed my arm, and we thanked him for letting us test so many. We stepped outside with the new ride, the case warm from our hands and the lights. My worry finally let go on the walk to the car, and her grin didn't move. A few nights later at rehearsal, I sat on a chair and watched her set it up with a slight tilt. The room smelled like rubber mats and old coffee. She counted off, and in the first verse I finally heard what she'd been chasing. A clear stick that sat on top, a polite wash tucked under the guitars, a bell that spoke without shouting. She rode the chorus and grinned. On the drive home, she tapped quarters on her knee, the dashboard humming, and said, this one breathes with me. I believed her. It wasn't the big surprise I imagined. It was better. We'd traded shiny for right, and I got to watch her find it. Now her bandmates are saying I ruined her sound with my gift. Was I wrong?